Welcome everybody to Mega64 Movie Club. I don't have much else to say during this episode. I'm in too much of a broken state, so I just wanted to say hello.
Warning! I have something to say. Warning! Don't have sex with me, because if you do... Why is that so funny? What?
Oh, I don't know.
That sounds like reverse psychology.
I didn't even get to the joke yet.
Oh, okay.
Dang it. Well, I was going to say, if you do, you'll find the love of your life. I was really thrown off by Sean laughing at my setup there. Let's just move on.
I'm sorry. I thought you were being funny.
We're talking about Good Luck Chuck today, a Dane Cook classic film.
Yeah.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah.
A true classic. We'll go down AFI's probably top 10, I assume. I'm just assuming. I didn't look, but I'm assuming it's there.
I got to think of all the Dane Cook films. This one's definitely in the top 10.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know if it's 10 films, so it kind of just gets in there by default.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely in his top 3 because that's what he made.
He may have made 4. No, so yeah, Good Luck Chuck. The Dane Cook, Jessica Alba romantic comedy from 2007.
Yeah.
This was my pick for today's episode. I wanted us to watch a movie that none of us had seen that we knew would be truly horrible, and we did just that with Good Luck Chuck.
Yeah, and you know what, Derek? I was impressed. You said the name, and I was like, name is familiar, but what? I don't know who was in it. I knew nothing. Just because it was in that era where there was so much shit that it just would get washed away from my brain.
Yeah.
It's like I didn't even think of this movie. I don't know how you did it.
This
movie came out in 2007. I was 21, 22 years old. This movie just stank of 2000s. It just reminded me of everything about being in high school and college and everything that was going on back then. The style, life. What was happening in my life personally.
I feel like I've seen this movie 100,000 times. This era of movies, this is my least favorite era of movies, is that 2003 to 2009 or whatever comedies where they were just churning them out. Here's this thing that's kind of romantic, but here's the fat, disgusting guy. Here's the horny dude. I mean, it's just... This era is my kryptonite, and I feel like Derek is preying on that knowledge, and it's not right, and it's not fair.
Yeah.
That's all. I just want to voice
Truth be told, we at Mega64 have a running gag about the film Still Waiting, and Still Waiting. We notoriously hate these comedy movies, and Dane Cook, was he in both of them, or was he just in one of them?
No, he was in both.
He was in the second one.
Oh, you're talking about both the Waiting movies. Yeah, no, just the first one, I think.
He was in the first one. Yeah. And so every once in a while, Waiting or Still Waiting will be brought up. And for whatever reason, I think of Dane Cook more than anybody else when I think of that movie. And I started thinking, what happened to Dane Cook? Where did he go? And I found out this was the last movie he starred in. And that to me was very interesting. That to me suggested this movie may have tanked his career. And I wanted to see what we were dealing with. So that is why I chose this film.
Yeah, and I will say going into this, you said that time, Rocco, you hate this comedy. To me, this just for me, the Chili's era of that's when I worked at Chili's when these movies came out, and I knew
and everyone loved them.
Everyone around me. I'm not saying I dislike these people. Yeah, they're just not someone I would choose to hang out with normally. Yeah. But they were all the type that would love this kind of movie. Totally. And after hear about how awesome Good Luck Chuck is, you gotta see Good Luck Chuck.
They'd see each and every one.
That's that era for me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you're working at Chili's, when you're in high school or college, you're just exposed to the public at large, and you're just exposed to people's opinions that you would probably not seek out if you had the choice.
Yeah.
But let's get into it real quick. For people who don't know, if you're not a Dane Cook fan or if you've blocked this era from your memory, I want to go back down memory lane real quick and just talk about Dane Cook and just talk about how big he was when this movie came out. Because I lived it, but I don't even know if I quite realized how big Dane Cook was in the world of comedy. I was a Dane Cook fan at the end of high school, 2005. around then. I don't know if you guys listened to the Dane Cook albums or saw him on Comedy Central, but he was everywhere.
Yeah.
He was everywhere. His first album I thought was like raunchy, but I was like 19, so that was perfect for me. And I thought it was funny. I did.
Yeah.
The first one.
I've never been a big stand-up guy. I've just never been into stand-up comedy. But I remember specifically when we were doing we were filming the episode What the Hell Happened to Mega64, and Garrett was doing makeup or setting up effects or whatever he was doing. He played that album while we were getting ready, and I thought it was funny. I thought, like, at that time, I thought it was funny stuff.
Dane Cook was funny. I was a big fan of him, too.
Yeah.
He was all over Comedy Central. He had that album. And then he released a follow-up album in 2006 called Retaliation.
Yeah.
Retaliation became the first comedy album in 28 years to enter the Billboard Top 5.
Yeah.
Wow.
Since, like, Steve Martin, right?
Steve Martin.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steve Martin in, like, 1972 or something, or 78. Something like that.
Yeah.
For 28 years, no comedian had had an album that popular until Dane Cook.
Yeah, that was crazy.
1 year later, Dane Cook, with his comedy tour, sold out Madison Square Garden. Again, he is only the second comedian to ever do this. The only person to do this before him was Andrew Dice Clay, not Milton Berle.
Andrew Dice Clay sold out Madison Square Garden?
I didn't know that.
In 1990.
Damn,
What?
I never knew that.
Wow.
Yeah, and when I read that, I kind of thought, Dane Cook and Andrew Dice Clay, kind of similar trajectories. Hot shot, biggest comedian in the world, make a couple movies. Where are they today?
Right.
It's kind of a cautionary tale. But all of that happened in just a matter of a few years. He also hosted the MTV Teen Choice Awards and won, like, Comedian of the Year. I think Rolling Stone magazine called him Entertainer of the Year in 2007.
Yeah.
Dane Cook was the biggest comedian on earth. He only made 2 films that he starred in. One of them was called Employee of the Month, starring him and Jessica Simpson.
Yeah.
And Dak Shepard, and it didn't do that great. And in fact, Jessica Simpson was nominated for a Razzie Worst Actress of the Year.
Congratulations.
So his follow-up was this movie, Good Luck Chuck. This movie was he basically had everything riding on this movie. His comedy career was as big as it could go, but his movie career had floundered. This was his second chance. Would ultimately be his last chance, I guess.
I guess we figured out what happened. Spoiler, didn't go well.
Well, I mean, I think we all know how this movie turned out. We could talk about it now, but is there anything else you guys want to add?
Yeah, I did want to say, what this movie represents to me. I mean, I said what I said about movies in this era, whatever. But an additional thing tied to Mega64, I guess, is we've done Comic-Con. We've had a booth at Comic-Con since, every year since like 2004, I think. And I've gone to Comic-Con since I was a kid. I always liked going to the event as a kid, and we do our thing. And we got to see Comic-Con rise into how big it got, where it's like, now you can't even get into it, blah, 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 And Good Luck Chuck was in that era where Comic-Con really exploded, and every studio felt like they needed to bring everything to Comic-Con no matter what it was. That was the one point in time I hated Comic-Con, because it just became like, okay, I'm not even hearing about comics or comic books at this point. Lionsgate brought Good Luck Chuck, and they did a whole panel in Hall H about it. And I remember there were posters given out on the show floor of Jessica Alba licking an ice cream cone. Good Luck Chuck coming soon.
Yeah.
And I just remember every studio was bringing romantic comedies and like all this stuff to Comic-Con, and it was like, this has nothing to do with this culture whatsoever. Why are you here? And it took about 5 more years. About 5 years or so for I feel like these studios realized, oh, there's no value in bringing these movies to Comic-Con. Like, it should be like Avengers and stuff, like, why are we here? But man, it was annoying when Stan Lee couldn't get a fucking panel in Hall H, but Good Luck Chuck was in there, and Dodgeball, or not Dodgeball, but all these other, Mr. Woodcock has a panel starring John Heater. It's like, what are we doing? So that I really resented that era of Comic-Con. It felt like I was going crazy. But the reason it might seem familiar to you, Sean, why the title sounds familiar is we would take these free posters from the show floor and we would scribble out the title and put Mega64 instead, and those would be our freebies. And so we did that. It was Good Luck. We changed it to Mega64, and I made Jessica Alba look like Dr. Pock. And for some reason, someone framed that and put it in our old studio. So
one of the weirdest things that's ever happened.
Yeah.
We got our new studio, our first studio.
Yeah.
And out of nowhere, we were filming, my mom showed up for the first time, I think.
Yeah.
And left and then came back and had that poster like framed for us and hung it up and then left. And that was the last time she went to the studio.
Yeah.
Like, that was her one visit, was to frame the Good Luck Chuck poster.
Yeah.
I have no idea why. That just happened. So
and I remember seeing that, like, oh, that's weird. And like years went by, 5 or more years went by, and I was looking at that on the wall, and I went, "Why is this here? Who cares about this?" And I think I did take it down.
I have no answer for you.
Yeah. Anyway, so
we don't have that still, do we? Is that gone?
I think that was gone. I think that's axed.
Yeah, it's probably for the best.
I guess at the bottom of the ocean somewhere. Anyway, so
this
that's
movie
all I had to say about it.
is. Yeah. This movie's so weird in so many different ways and has 2 really prominent Beatles references to the band The Beatles.
Oh.
2.
Okay.
One of them is the poster.
Yeah.
The movie poster. Which
That's
I guess
what I
is actually a John Lennon Yoko Ono reference. It's a parody of the poster of John Lennon hugging Yoko Ono, where he's naked, which was the cover of
straddling her, kind of, yeah.
Yeah. There's that, and then we'll get to the other Sacred Beatles reference when we get to the plot analysis of this classic film. Should we get into it? Have we said enough about the setup here?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We've said enough.
All right, so we have the plot synopsis here on Wikipedia. We're going to read it and give our commentary on what we thought when we were enjoying this film. Looks like it's broken down into 4 paragraphs here, so I'll take it paragraph by paragraph. Here we go. Okay. So Good Luck Chuck opens in 1985, while 10-year-old Chuck and a bunch of his friends, boys and girls, are playing 7 Minutes in Heaven. It's actually like a combination of Spin the Bottle and 7 Minutes in Heaven. Mm-hmm. Chuck refuses to kiss a goth girl named Anisha after she attempts to have sex with him in the closet. And in retaliation, Anisha places a curse on Chuck so that every single woman he sleeps with will break up with him and marry the next man who asks her out. This was the opening of the movie. This opening started.
Derek, it started, and they went in the closet, and that little kid took off her shirt and was wearing some black bra thing, and I was like, I'm out. Like, I already hate this movie.
I had the same thought. I'm like, okay, how far is this scene gonna go? This is like kids and
This movie is like little kids playing 7 Minutes in Heaven, and Chuck has this friend who's this overweight guy, but I guess he's like a little fat kid in this part of the movie. Yeah. And this little fat kid's like a fucking rapist, dude. He just like he's just talking about all the stuff he wants to do with these girls, like, yo, let me in that closet. And then he gets in the closet with the girl and starts, oh man, it's so uncomfortable. This movie would not fly today at all.
No. It would have been kicked off Netflix along with that cutest shit or whatever that was.
Yeah. So then it cuts to present day, and it we go from that scene to a naked chick's boobs out. And I actually have a note here that I wrote in my notes. Opening is so appropriate. That was so inappropriate. That was my note. And then the next note is boobs. Nice. Because that was kind of the sentiment of the film. I felt like at that point, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we're introduced to Dane Cook, his character as an adult, with this really awful, blowjob comedy bit that just, dude, this movie out the gate is just fucking awful.
I mean, she's trying to say I love you while she's gargling his nuts. That is in the first time you see Dane Cook, and it's like, this is abysmal. This is rough.
Totally. So then she dumps him. She's like mad because he won't say I love you on the beach. And we find out Dane Cook is like a dentist. Well, here, I'll just go to the plot synopsis. In the present, Chuck, a successful dentist in his 30s, runs a dental practice in the same building as his best friend Stu, who runs a plastic surgery business. Chuck finds himself unable to tell his girlfriend, Carol, that he loves her, and she breaks up with him while having sex on the beach. Following the breakup, Stu and Chuck decide to attend the wedding of one of Chuck's ex-girlfriends, Katie. At Katie's wedding, Chuck becomes enamored with Cam Wexler, played by Jessica Alba. Jessica Alba, a clumsy yet attractive and friendly marine biologist. Let's pause there.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's basically it. The setup for this movie is at a wedding. He sees Jessica Alba. He basically like falls in love with her because she's hot.
Yeah. Yeah, and clumsy.
Yeah, the whole movie, I just felt like they never took the time to actually have a real relationship. They have nothing in common. It's just like, yeah, they find each other attractive.
Yeah.
And even at this wedding, they flirt with each other, and it's like one of the worst flirting scenes in a movie. Like, imagine a 12-year-old. You told a 12-year-old, hey, write a scene where two people meet at a wedding and fall in love. That's who wrote this scene. I can't even recall the bad dialogue. It was just so like shitty.
Yeah. It was terrible. I will tell you though, the writing was so bad. I looked up the writer of the movie to see what else he's done.
I did too.
He did do Piranha 3D. So you know this tracks.
Yeah, that one might be actually a little bit more well written. Who knows?
Maybe.
So I'll continue here with the plot synopsis. Their chemistry is apparent the moment they start talking. The wedding eventually ends, and they seemingly go their separate ways. While working at a penguin habitat, Cam accidentally slips and chips her tooth. When she visits Chuck to have it fixed, he asks her to go out with him instead of paying him. Though initially reluctant, Cam agrees. Meanwhile, Stu notices the pattern of girls getting married as soon as Chuck has sex with them. Stu eventually convinces Chuck to embrace the influx of women who have learned of his pattern and visit his practice, arguing that there's nothing better than having lots of guilt-free sex. However, after having this so-called guilt-free sex with numerous women, Chuck decides he wants a serious relationship with Cam. However, just before he has sex with her, Stu informs him that each woman that he has slept with has married the next guy, including Carol. Worried the same thing will happen to Cam, Chuck begins to avoid her. That's kind of the first act of the movie there.
Oh, and it's a doozy. And let me tell you, there were several times I was in misery. The montage of sex scenes was the worst. It was unbearable. I don't know what it is.
It was like pornographic.
It was very graphic, and it was like not necessary at all. And it wasn't funny. I don't know what was happening. Something about Dane Cook, though, like his face upsets me. And he's not ugly, but he's definitely not good looking. But for some reason, he just grosses me out. And I can't tell you what it is.
Well, then you must be glad that you get to see his ass about 30 times in this movie. So you don't have to look at his face.
Thank God.
I would honestly rather look at his ass than his face. That is the real life truth.
And yeah, that montage of having sex with a bunch of people. Hey, audience at home, let me just give you a little bit of what's in this montage. He's like having sex with a contortionist, a blonde chick, a Christian chick who prays during sex. Yeah, you see all of their boobs. It's super graphic and just like pointless.
Yeah, I feel like maybe if I was like 13, I would have felt like super stoked that I found this movie on HBO or something because I could see boobs, but as an adult,
or stroked. I don't know. If I was 13, I would have put this movie on mute and locked the door. This plot synopsis doesn't even mention the fact that he basically gets sexually abused by his assistant, by his secretary, who's
which is the weirdest, saddest scene of the whole movie.
Dude. The plot synopsis is making this movie look too good, so I have to sum up this scene from my memory. Ladies and gentlemen watching at home, he has an overweight black secretary in his dentist practice, and when the word gets out that he's cursed or blessed, if you have sex with him, you'll find your soulmate afterwards. She shows up at his house one night, and basically she's going to pin him down and have sex no matter what. She's not taking no for an answer. It's fucking uncomfortable. And she's wearing all this lingerie, and she's saying disgusting stuff like, don't eat my ass because I've been sitting here for 3 hours. Ah, fucking hell. And she pins him down. And she's like, just do it. And just imagine you're going to have sex with somebody gorgeous. And Dane Cook fucking like stops and gets all doughy eyed and like brushes the hair out of her face and goes like, I'm going to imagine it's you. And then it cuts to the next scene. He had sex with her. I'm thinking like, oh, wow, what a hero. This guy, this is why he's the main character. He's actually a good guy.
I felt bad for the actress in that moment.
Yeah.
I just felt like terrible for her. It was just so sad.
Wow.
Yeah, I felt bad for Jessica Alba being in this movie too.
Hey, that is the true victim of this movie. Was why is Jessica Alba here? What happened to her? Why was she here? She's better than this.
Yeah,
I felt bad too. I felt really bad for the viewers.
Hey, Dane Cook isn't even the worst part of this movie.
No.
His fucking friend Stu.
Yeah, yes, that's my least favorite part by far.
Stu is the overweight plastic surgeon who is a sexaholic. He's obsessed with sex. He even assumes Dane Cook's identity so that he can have sex with these women because they just want to partake in the curse. At one point, Dane Cook says, like, I don't want to have sex with these women anymore. I actually wrote down the quote because it was so horrendous. Stu looks at a hot girl walking by and says, basically, I would like to, quote, I have to lower my voice so my neighbors don't hear me. Quote, suck a fart out of her ass and hold it like a bong hit. Then he pretends to do this, holding his breath, and then out of nowhere just throws a frisbee and it hits a kid in the face. It was fucking horrible.
You're making it sound funnier, once again, funnier than it is.
Yeah. I'm making it sound funnier than it is, but it was like so awful to see executed on paper. I looked up that actor, and he's like a Broadway-trained, Tony Award-winning, like, stage actor.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I can't remember his name right now. We can look it up, but he like went to Harvard School of Acting or something.
Daniel Kevin Fogler.
Yeah, and he runs like a talent and artistic career coaching business now. So he's like super intelligent, super successful, award-winning actor. I don't know why he plays this role. It's so hard to watch.
I think I met him a long time ago, and he was like a really good dude. Because I want to say he also did. He's done a lot of dumb, stupid movies. Sorry, no offense if he's watching this. You're a good dude, but he did
Balls of Fury.
Yeah, Balls of Fury is what I was going to say. But I think I met him somewhere or something. He was a good guy. I think he just joined Walking Dead about a season ago.
Oh,
sure.
You know what he reminded me of? His character reminded me of Jonah Hill in Wolf of Wall Street. Just a worse version of Jonah Hill, which is crazy because Jonah Hill was terrible in that movie.
Yeah.
But it was just like the super skeezy, horny, gross friend. And that's kind of who he was.
Somehow I didn't mind that character in Wolf of Wall Street. This guy I minded.
Well, I think Martin Scorsese probably saw this movie and then took the good part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he ripped it off.
Kind of took the best parts, left the worst. Yeah.
I don't know if you guys noticed too, but this movie had a really horrible product placement by Mountain Dew.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when they're playing Spin the Bottle in the 80s, they're spinning a Mountain Dew bottle. Okay, whatever. Right. But then during the sex montage, he grabs a bottle of Mountain Dew and just like throws it into his face. And that's when I was like, yeah, okay, I'm not drinking Mountain Dew because of this movie. I'll let you know that right now.
But he also dumps it on his face like it's water to like
yeah.
Okay, why
you just got really sticky,
why would any human do that? Like it wasn't even funny. It was just like, oh, you dumped soda all over yourself. Like,
yeah,
that was desperate.
This movie, I had a problem with this movie because I felt like this movie didn't know what it wanted to be in the sense of like what you're talking about, Rocco. Like dumping the Mountain Dew on his face like water is so like goofy and surreal.
Yeah.
But the rest of the movie didn't have that kind of humor in it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then I was thinking like this whole movie is about like a curse he got by a witch basically in 1985. That's like a fantasy element.
Yeah.
But this isn't like a fantasy movie with like magic and witchcraft. Like, that supernatural stuff never really comes back. It's just in the beginning and then they kind of touch on it at the end.
And even when they did it and she gives him the curse, it's like there's no spectacle to it. She just says some words and leaves. You know, like it was like that's it. Like that was the thing. I really thought where it was going was Jessica Alba was so clumsy at first and clearly liked, I mean, Dane Cook for whatever reason. And I thought, oh, she also has a curse on her or something, you know, where it's like,
I kind of thought so that clumsy,
too. She doesn't want to hurt him.
Yeah.
I thought it was going there, but that would have been too interesting. So it did not go there.
The movie. Yeah. Go ahead, Rocco. Go ahead.
Oh, no. I thought it'd be something like that. Like they're both cursed and two wrongs do make a right or something. I don't know, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, it didn't know what it wanted to be. It was like, we have this curse and that's our problem is this magical curse.
Yeah.
But then it's like, you know, there's this debate. Is he really cursed? Is this just a coincidence? They couldn't commit one way or the other.
Yeah.
There's a scene in the movie where he gives Jessica Alba like breakfast in bed, and it is like excessive, you know, beyond what a real person would be able to get for breakfast in bed. And again, I was like, this is surreal, and this movie, it's surreal in this part, and no other part really is. It's, I don't know, sign of a bad movie, I guess.
Maybe
I don't know what they want to do.
Maybe it's more surreal than you remember, because I mean, there is a girl with 3 boobs too, and you know, maybe
true.
There's more. I don't know.
There is a girl with 3 boobs, which they don't show.
They do show
in the movie. They show it later on, but
yeah, okay.
I was like, you've shown so many boobs at this point.
Yeah.
Well, I think we just touched on every element: the curse, the Mountain Dew, the kind of like weird use of food as humor, and the girl with 3 boobs.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Other than that, it was pretty like grounded in reality, like serious, you know, like heartfelt, emotional rom-com.
Yeah, I have in my notes. It says, "Who was this movie made for?" Because it's like the most gratuitous sex scenes. And then, like, after that, it's like trying to be all sweet. It's like, you're not the same movie. Like, what is this?
I think they were trying to go for, you know, the girl and the guy go see the movie, and there's stuff for the girls and stuff for the guys.
I guess so.
Really, that's what for no one.
That's true. It ended up being for nobody.
So we'll just wrap this up. Try to wrap it up quickly. He thinks if he has sex with Jessica Alba, that he's going to ruin the relationship. So... oh my God, he does an experiment by having sex with a really horrendously monstrous woman. And then Stu like says, oh, I'll go on a date with her, and if I don't fall in love with her, you'll be fine. And then Stu calls him up and says, like, I did it, you're fine. So he goes to have sex with Jessica Alba, but then he finds out Stu was lying for no apparent reason.
Right, and now here's a plot hole. I know, it's crazy, I found one. But, like... this Stu guy is the one who said, like, you have to fuck this big girl. You have to fuck this ugly girl over here. And then so Dane doesn't want to, but he made her do it. And then it's like, but you have to prove that this isn't real. I'm going on a date with her. And then he didn't, like, there's no reason for him not to go I don't know what happened. Like, it made no sense. And the whole thing made no fucking sense. And like that part was like, oh, I didn't go on a date with her. I was just joking. It's like, why'd you do this first part then? Like, it made no... I don't know.
Yeah, the old switcheroo. That makes no sense.
That is pointless.
So then Dane Cook thinks Jessica Alba is going to leave him, and he gets really clingy. This part of the movie was kind of wholesome, and I wish just more of the movie, this could have been the whole movie, like, just make this guy dopey and clingy. Now I like this movie. I mean, I don't like the movie. It was already too far gone at that point.
Yeah.
Guys, it just devolves into like the most formulaic. He pushes her away. She gets mad. She says, you're crazy. He breaks up with her. He realizes if you love something, you must set it free. So he stops being crazy. And then they realize they're in love with each other. What else is there to say?
Nothing. To further how fucking stupid it was, at the end of the movie, he thinks they're in love with this guy and they're going to go to Antarctica to look at penguins. So he books 2 flights to Antarctica to make sure he doesn't miss her on that one flight. What flight to Antarctica? What are we talking about? Where's the airport in Antarctica? Am I crazy? Is that, I mean, like, this is like, you wrote this to the movie?
Isn't there a line about that?
Antarctica is such a hot spot vacation destination. They have 2 flights leaving at the same time every day. Los Angeles to Antarctica.
I mean, what is happening?
But yeah, didn't he say something about that in it? Like, oh, well, we don't have any flights direct to Antarctica. It's this
not a direct flight, but there's 2 flights that get. But they didn't explain it further than that. But it's like American Airlines doesn't fly to Antarctica at all. I'll tell you, they're not gonna.
I'll be honest. At this point in the movie, I was like looking at my phone. So
yeah.
I like check. I mean, I was watching it, but I was also looking up like what happened to Dane Cook's career. What are the reviews of this movie?
I put this on my phone to watch, so I couldn't play on my phone because I wanted to so bad. I was just like, I need to watch this movie for work. I can't. I'll get lost in Twitter because I care so little, but I can't. So I stuck to it. But Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and so the movie ends, and it all works out with Jessica Alba because he goes back to the goth girl and gets her to break the curse.
Was she somebody? She's familiar to me. I couldn't figure out who she was.
The actress?
Yeah.
Yeah, she did seem familiar. I don't know.
She gave me like an Evan Rachel Wood vibe. I don't think it was her, but
no.
I'm not sure who she was. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was all shitty, too, because she pretended like, oh, no, it was no curse. There was no curse. We were just being kids. I didn't even know how to curse. Right. And then 5 scenes later, she pulls a voodoo doll out, which she apparently has been holding on to for 25 years. And she uncurses him. This movie just contradicts itself at every turn. It's just awful. And it's really, we can't convey how overly sexually gross this movie is. We haven't even touched on that. By the way, the second Beatles reference that this movie had, the building they work at is like, it's Beatles spelled backwards. It's like, let's stiab or something.
Really? What the hell?
Yeah, and I just felt like, again, this movie doesn't know what it wants. Your poster is a Beatles reference, John Lennon reference. You spell Beatles backwards for the name of this building. Maybe that wasn't intentional, but...
No, I think it was.
It's in the trivia for the movie, and then that's it. They never touch on the Beatles ever again. Maybe Dane Cook's just a Beatles fan. Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, but I don't know.
The last thing that I want to mention about this movie is Stu gets married. Stu finds a wife who has 3 boobs, which I guess is good for him because he loves boobs. But he says, like, Chuck, thanks, man. Your good luck still worked. Did Chuck have sex with a 3-boob girl earlier in the movie?
I don't.
Did Chuck? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Chuck did. Yeah. She was the girl that said, "Hey, don't take my bra off." And he's like, "Why?" Well, I might have babies. And he's like, "Where?" And she's like, "No, I mean,
God,
eventually."
Rocco, thank you.
She didn't want to show him off.
Scene.
Yeah.
I was like, again, by the end of this movie, I was just like, did I miss something? Did I miss the part where he had sex with this girl?
Well, he also, he does it with like 7 different blondes in that montage, so it would be easy, to no offense to any blonde girls, but they really throw a lot at you in one scene.
Dude, hey, legitimately, I don't want to get dark, I don't want to get weird, I don't want to get creepy, but a thought crossed my mind watching this movie. That's all I'll say. I don't know if the casting couch is real. I don't know. If y'all know what the casting couch is out there in Hollywood, they say, maybe you get these roles through sex, by sleeping with somebody.
It's like a Weinstein deal.
Exactly. Thank you. Perfect explanation. The casting director had a type in this movie because I felt like, man, all of these girls are just like big booby blonde plastic bimbo, like every single, and it wasn't for like an effect or a joke because it was like, look at all these hot babes that want to be with Chuck all of a sudden. Yeah, like 90% of them look exactly the same. Who's casting this movie?
Yeah.
I had that thought. I don't know, I don't know if that thought crossed anybody else's mind, but
it did not. But now that you mention it, maybe
I kind of thought that too, and then I kept thinking about the pervert producers that staged that opening to happen. That was the whole movie. I felt like there were deviants involved.
I definitely agree there are deviants involved.
Staged what opening to happen?
That creepy ass opening in the closet with these
preteen
these preteen kids sexually abusing each other.
This movie's taking like a conspiracy theory turn.
Yeah.
Hold on, because I'm just realizing so many people in this movie have to expose their breasts. This movie is so overtly, unnecessarily sexual. And I didn't really, a moment ago, I didn't really think casting couch, but what I did think was all of the quote unquote hot babes in this movie look the same. And the casting director definitely had a type. But yeah, now I'm mixing this with all the weird sexual shit we hear about Hollywood. And I'm thinking like, is this no-name forgotten movie just a vehicle for these producers to do fucked up shit?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Maybe.
Or is this a terrible-ass comedy? One way or the other. Whoever wins, we lose.
I'm thinking about Jessica Alba and how bad I felt for her, but she's in The Love Guru. Like, what?
Yeah.
Can you tell me a good movie that Jessica Alba's in?
Oh,
wait a second. Jessica Alba is our most popular actress as of this movie.
I can name one that I like that she's been in.
What?
Machete. I liked Machete.
Yeah, but Machete is even kind of
stupid.
Losing some of his charm.
It's stupid, but I enjoyed it at the time.
Good movie.
I like Machete, yeah.
But
I can't.
I don't know what Jessica Alba's done that's like, oh yeah, well, classic in this. She's great. Like maybe she sucks.
All right, I'm gonna list some Jessica Alba movies that you might like.
Okay.
Idle Hands.
Never seen it.
Okay.
I'm not.
Honey.
Never saw Honey.
Sin City.
I did see that.
Yeah. See, I never liked that. But a lot of people do.
Four.
What?
She's in Fantastic Four. Oh God, no.
That one sucks.
Fantastic Four: Rise of Silver Surfer. She's in Knocked Up. She plays herself in Knocked Up.
I don't remember that.
Okay, don't remember that.
I think you may have just stumbled on another conspiracy theory. Jessica Alba has no good movies.
Yeah. None.
I'm gonna fire down this list of Jessica Alba movies just to give you a taste of how bad they all are. Ready?
Okay.
You probably haven't heard of half of these. Idle Hands, Paranoid, The Sleeping Dictionary, Honey, Sin City, Fantastic Four, Into the Blue, The 10, Knocked Up, Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer, Good Luck Chuck, Meet Bill, Awake, The Eye, The Love Guru, The Killer Inside Me, Valentine's Day, Machete, An Invisible Sign, Little Fockers, Spy Kids, All the Time in the World. I mean, I just covered like 15 years of her films.
No, those suck. Those aren't good.
Damn.
Yeah, and that was the height of her career. Dang.
I mean, I do know for a fact that she founded a company called the Honest Company.
Yeah.
Which is like in Target, and like the diapers I used for my kids when they were little were like this diaper. She must be fucking loaded.
Oh yeah,
from that, but
she's
not from
an
that.
entrepreneur now. Yeah, that's her big thing now. Yeah, but her movies sucked.
Yeah, movies suck.
It's funny because people, guys, I always knew everyone would drool over Jessica Alba, and it's funny. I would always kind of groan when I would see her, and I really started to think about why that is, because it's like she's very pretty, and I got nothing against her. What is it? And I really think it's because she was just. I equate her to some miserable ass content every time. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, Jessica Alba. You know, there's just some actors that when they're in something, you're gonna hate it, and I think subconsciously I thought that about her.
I'm only now realizing this. I really like Jessica Alba, but she does not make any good movies. And yeah, you're right. She somehow survived a career of awful movies coming out golden. Everybody loves her.
Yeah, because like I look at her and think, shitty actress, shitty movies. I just think, oh, Jessica Alba, okay.
Yeah, and she doesn't have any good. I mean, Sin City, you would argue, is her best movie, or Machete, but those aren't really like the strongest films ever.
Sure.
No. And I liked Sin City when it came out, but I haven't seen it since it came out, so I don't know if it holds up or not. I don't know.
But even in Sin City, you know, she's like a dancer. It's an ensemble film. It's not like her movie. She was so great, you know.
She's just in it. Huh.
Yeah.
Well,
interesting. Let us know what you think. If you're watching this, are we wrong on Jessica Alba? Let us know if you disagree.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No.
All right. Well, let's give this movie some popcorn shakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it really is sad. Like, I try to get notes from this. I really did. I did research, but there's no real, like, on IMDb, the trivia for this movie was like 9 things, and it all sucked. Like, when we did a mad world, the trivia was like 700 things, whether it be good or bad, the movie.
It
was
goes
like,
on and on.
Say about this movie.
Yeah.
There is nothing to say about this movie. Like, there is nothing.
Well, this movie has a 5% rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
And when it came out, People Magazine, Entertainment Weekly ran the headline, "Can we finally admit Dane Cook isn't funny?"
There we go. Maybe this did kill his career. Roger Ebert said this movie was potty-mouthed and brain damaged.
The Chicago Tribune said this movie was a humor deprivation experiment. Which is funnier than any line in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. Wow.
And I, not to spoil my shakers that we're going to do in a second, but when I finished watching it, Jenny asked me, she's like, "What'd you think?" And I was like, I can't decide if I like this or The Love Guru more. Like, I don't know. Like,
hey,
where I fall on that.
Honestly, my gut instinct, I think of Love Guru and but I'm thinking back, I can think of a couple things that did make me laugh out loud in that piece of shit. I can't hear.
Yeah.
I can't hear.
Here's the thing on that note. I feel like time heals wounds. This movie didn't piss me off as much as Love Guru did, but Love Guru did make me laugh 2 times more often than this movie did.
Yeah, honestly.
Right.
Honestly, and frankly, I will say for myself, I would rather have a reaction. Even if it's pissed, this fucking movie. I'd still rather have that than fucking the dull cow eye gelatin glaze of just, all right. You know, like,
yeah.
So I think this might be, my least favorite that we've watched on this program.
Well,
so we'll see.
Well, we'll have to let the score reflect that. Let's do some popcorn shakes.
Okay.
What do we give this?
Okay, you know what? It's crazy. I went to the store to buy popcorn shakers, but they were sold out. So that's 0. I repeat, 0 shakers from
0.
Me. Worst movie. I hated this.
I didn't know we could give 0 popcorn.
You know, I didn't either because I had mine.
Either, but they were out.
I had mine locked and loaded, and now I didn't know I could go lower. Yeah, we must be shopping at the same place, Sean. I'm unable to give it 1, so I guess we're on the same. So
you're both getting 0 popcorn.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a possibility. 0.
Well, wow. I was gonna give this a 1.
Okay.
But I feel like I should bump it up just to compensate for you guys rating it so low. I don't think 0 is an option, so I'm going to count you guys as a 1, and I'm also going to give it a 1. Technically, you gave it a 0. Sometimes we give half stars.
Sure.
But I'm going to give this 1-star rating, which either, depending on if you're keeping score at home, that means this is either a 1 out of 15 or a 3 out of 15, but probably the lowest so far reviewed movie we've done on this show.
Yeah. I think
Surprise.
I'm giving it a 1 only because I'm holding out. I do think theoretically we will potentially find movies that are worse than this.
Yeah.
And I want to save room for those.
Yeah.
I hear you. I hope we don't, but it's possible. I will say, you watch this movie, though?
Yeah.
Yeah?
No, go ahead.
I would say you watch this movie and you see, like, I look at it and think, it's clear to me why Dane Cook is not a star still, or like a movie star. He never made that leap. Because, like, he's just not charming enough. I don't believe any of it.
Yeah.
You know, he sucks.
You know, I feel bad for Dane Cook because I feel like the writing is what was so bad about this movie. And I do, you know, if you look up Dane Cook, he had some personal stuff happen in his life, which was very sad.
Yeah.
With his family. And then he made jokes about, like, the shooting in Colorado at the Batman Theater, and that like tanked his career, his stand-up career.
God.
So they say now he might be trying to mount a comeback, but we really haven't seen him for a long time. And, I feel bad. I feel bad because there was a time where I was a fan and he was on top of the world. And it's sad to see that decline, but it's also a little bit interesting to watch a car wreck. And that's why we chose this movie today. That's why I chose it, at least.
It's a lesson, let's learn a lesson from this. And if we ever become so popular we're selling at Madison Square Garden, let's not make movie theater shooting jokes. That's what I learned today.
I was gonna say about that joke I feel that he made was really, I feel like, a catalyst for a lot of comedians to change the way that they do shows, and a lot of them lock up phones now and stuff like that. I feel like that started it because that was there was no recording allowed when he did that. He played at a place where he would workshop stuff, and that joke bombed, and he never did it again. But there was recordings everywhere, and after that, all these comedians were like, "All right, we're locking up phones. We're doing. You sign a thing. You sign an NDA like that." I really feel like that was the beginning of that conversation. But
just think about like Michael Richards and what happened with that.
What's that?
Michael Richards went on that crazy tirade in a club, but if you couldn't have a phone and record it back then, would he still have a career? I don't know.
You would just hear the legend of that one night he bombed really bad, and you'd be hearing, no, he didn't do that.
Yeah.
No, but
I had a question real quick, and they never call attention to it, or they do call attention to it, but they don't explain it really. She has like a camcorder set up facing her bed. Mm-hmm. And like he goes into her bedroom, it's all penguins and like a camera facing like what was this? Like what is this?
They
like,
watched the tape
John,
at the end.
At the end of the video, they find the sex tape that Dane Cook and Jessica Alba had made.
Okay, I saw that, but like that was before her fucking penguins? Like what was she doing with the penguins?
He licks the penguin. She asked him to do
I saw that, but that was like she was filming him to get off on, I guess. I don't know.
Same as the 3 boob joke. It's not properly set up, and then it's paid off, but it's stupid. This is just bad writing.
Yeah,
so bad.
Sean, I wouldn't think too hard about it, man.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, I think we've talked about this movie enough, but I still have a hunger for truly awful movies. Rocco, maybe you could satisfy that hunger. What are we going to be watching next time?
Geez, thanks for that. I think next week we're going to, I guess we'll keep with this theme since that's what you like. You like these dumbass, gross-ass, sexual, casting couch fucking comedies. So we're going to go with the king of them all. We're going with the early 90s. I want to say 92. Maybe I got the year wrong, but around then. Classic Glengarry Glen Ross. I don't know if the other guys have seen it, but you thought this movie was raunchy.
I have no idea what this is about.
You thought there was a lot of boobs and a lot of funny humor. Him going down on the stuffed penguin and in this movie, they top it in Glengarry Glen Ross. These salesmen, it's the funniest movie ever made. I think you guys are really going to crack up every second. So get ready for
nice. Well, I've heard nothing but bad things, so I look forward to it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Let me tell you, it won't disappoint. Anyway.
All right.
Thanks for that.
All right.
Cool. Well, I think that's all for this episode. Wait, no. You know what?
Yeah.
Let's start over and do this whole episode again.
Yeah, let's talk about this movie more.
Yeah. Let's watch it again. Now, wait. Now I think about it, I don't want to do that. I guess we're at the end.
I'm trying to find a stuff. I thought I had a stuffed animal.
A penguin? We got one back there. We got a penguin. You want to fuck one, Rocco?
Is there?
No. Yeah, it's in the.
I was just gonna do. What are they? Cunnilingus. I was gonna.
Yeah. I know. I wanted to see it. Well, next time. I'm sure I'll apply with Glengarry Glen Ross.
Glengarry Glen Ross episode. I will bring a stuffed penguin. Good night.
We'll see you there.